Many have told you how amazing the new Hermes AI agent is, but nobody told you the catch. What happens when an autonomous AI lies to itself, writes that lie down as a fact, and then uses its own fake documentation to gaslight you? My personal AI assistant, Jarvis, ran on N8N. It was a rigid, deterministic workflow engine, boring but bulletproof. But recently, I decided to upgrade. I migrated Jarvis's Hermes. The promise of these new agentic systems is that they learn. You don't hard-code rules. They do a task, write down what they learned, and adapt. I'm a believer in that architecture. But last week, Hermes broke. And when I dug into the source code to find out why, I discovered a critical failure mode in self-improving AI that almost nobody in the industry is talking about. Let me show you the difference between an AI that learns and an AI that just gets more confident in being wrong. There was one simple task. A bank sends me an SMS. The job is, read that message, save it to a Supabase database. That's it. Simple, fixed, mechanical. No thinking required. But the Hermes agent kept getting it wrong. Same error, same wrong fix, every single time. So I stopped trusting what the AI was telling me, bypassed the chat window, and went straight into the agent's actual execution environment on the server. Here's what I found. Hermes had learned a lesson about this exact webhook task and wrote it into its own internal markdown notes. The problem? The note was structurally false. It hallucinated a fix that didn't actually exist in the Python code, and nothing in the system ever checked that note against reality. So every single time a bank expense came in, the agent woke up, reread its own wrong note, applied the hallucinated fix again, and even quoted that false documentation back to me as if it were objective proof. Now here's the part that actually matters for anyone building with AI right now. This felt like learning. The agent had memory, it had skills, it updated its own playbook. Everything looked exactly like a system that learns from its mistakes. But it wasn't learning, it was confident repetition, because there was no signal anywhere telling it, this note is wrong. After each session, it would review what happened and write down lessons. But the part of the brain that decides what's true had no way to actually run the task in the background and verify if the lesson held up. No verification loop. So a hallucinated note became a permanent truth. And it never got caught because the agent only ever tested it, quote, itself in the chat window with me, where the simulated fix appeared to work. It never failed in the place that actually mattered. So it never found out it was wrong. So here's the strategic question you have to ask before any agent goes near a production environment. The question isn't, can it learn? It's, when this thing is inevitably wrong, what corrects it? If the only answer is itself, you don't have a learning loop, you have a confidence loop. And there are really only three ways to fix that. A real-world validation check, a human in the loop, or just making the pipeline deterministic. It'll figure it out is not on that list. And to be clear, the Hermes agent isn't bad. It's genuinely powerful, and it is still the core of my Jarvis architecture today. The point was never agents are bad. It's about knowing which job is which. Using an autonomous improvising agent to run a fixed mechanical database entry is like hiring a jazz musician to play a metronome. One day it's going to improvise, and you won't be watching when it does. If this architectural breakdown was useful, hit subscribe. This is the kind of system I build, break, and fix on this channel. I'm Tarek. See you in the next one.